Hey friend, welcome to Mastering Post-Production Sound. My name is Joel D. Catalan. I'm an Emmy-nominated sound re-recording mixer, supervising sound editor, and industry coach. And today I am so excited to dive into a new noise reduction plugin. That is the Acon Digital Extract Dialogue 2, thanks to my friends over in Norway. Shout out to my homie Joel over there. Us Joel's got to stick together. So grateful for them. They checked out my recent video where we tested some of your favorite noise reduction tools and said, yo, hey, you don't forget about us. Check us out. So we are absolutely 100% checking them out today. So today we're going to take some real world audio. So whether you're a professional sound editor or you're a hobbyist, perhaps you have clients that are working on podcasts, video podcasts, clips for social media. If you have noise reduction needs, friend, I'm so glad you're here. We're going to dive in and get some real world testing. So welcome to the channel. Let's get started. And friend, I got to tell you, my setup is pretty simple. We are in Pro Tools today. We're using OBS for our capture. I'm using a Shure SM7B. I have some Mackie HR824s for my studio monitors. I'm using a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. Very simple headphones. I'm using an Audio Technica. Which ones are these? This is the M50X. Yeah, the ATH M50X. Actually, a really good pair. Very simple setup. There's not a lot going on here. This is something that the average hobbyist will have. This is all accessible equipment that you probably have at your home. Now, mind you, most of the stuff that I'm typically using in a studio setting when I'm actually working in a professional setting is nothing like this. I'm using, Cinema JBLs. We're sitting on a dub stage that has not only just 5.1 as a bass, 5.1 surround sound setup, but an Atmos setup, sometimes full Atmos, theatrical Atmos, typically most of the time a home Atmos setup. So we're talking 714, and it's it's a different, but here in the typical just kind of testing world where we're at, we like to workshop things. We like to workshop our plugins. We're like you at home. We're in our garage today. Like, there's no fancy setup, my friend. This is literally, you could do this on your headphones, right? So everything we're going to do today is something that's very relatable. If you're a hobbyist, if you're an amateur, if you're a professional, this is all relative information on very relative equipment. This is what you have. I have what you have here at home, okay? When we start venturing out to the dub stages in Hollywood, then we're starting to reach kind of equipment that's maybe not accessible to the normal prosumer consumer. Okay, all right. So this is what we got going on today. Today is very special in the sense that we are testing something out. Check this out right here. You see that? That is the new Acon Extract Dialogue 2 plugin that recently came out. I believe it was December, this month, right? So Merry Christmas to everybody, right? Happy New Year to everybody here who's watching this video. But recently we did a video where we did some real world testing on some of your favorite noise reduction plugins, okay? Some real classics that are out there. We had Hush Pro. We did some world testing with iZotope RX, right? Our dialogue isolate, some Clarity VX Pro, and we also had, I think, some DX Revive as well. Well, our friends over at Acon Digital said, yo, Joel, we just saw your video and you gotta check out our new product, Extract Dialogue 2. And I was like, oh my gosh, so many people have told me about it in the past. I cannot wait to check it out. So today is all about putting the Extract Dialogue 2 from Acon Digital in the real world. We're going to test it right now. So similar to our last video when we ran through some of these clips, we're going to put it to the same exact test. So if you haven't checked out that video, friend, do yourself a favor, pause this video, go over and check that out. I'll leave a link below, but check out that video. We will go through some samples, some before, some after. Check that out. But today is all about hearing how these clips that I'm just recorded at the car wash. Okay, now talk about some real, cruddy dialogue here. I literally lobbed myself up with a wireless lav at the car wash to get some real world production audio. Because here's the truth, friend. The truth is we have an array of tools at our fingertips when we are working on film and TV. Now, the one advantage that we may have over perhaps you who maybe might be working on a short film, a podcast, something like that, we have time. We have time and we have budgets, okay? And that varies depending on what kind of project you're working on. So today we're going to take a look at how Extract uses its kind of AI formula and all the super bells and whistles under the hood. Because here's the deal. What I love right away when I'm looking at this is just how simple the user interface is here with the Extract Dialogue 2. Friend, this is going to be a real world test. You can check it out. If you love it, go say hello to our friends over at Acon Digital, and shout out to Acon Digital for hooking us up at mastering post-production sound over here with a copy of Extract Digital. So we're going to check it out here. Extract Dialogue, that's rather. All right, so let's put this to the test. Give me a second here. Let me put my headphones on. Because, friend, today we are all about just real life. Okay, so here's the clip here, right? There we go. This is a clip that if you checked out the other video, you definitely heard.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent and they have a vacuum like this? Some of it's real. Some of it you'll keep as your PFX. How do you...
Okay, all right, there's the clip, okay? And for reference, I literally had one of those super high-powered vacuums, and I was just vacuuming out the back of the car. I mean, friend, if you've stumbled on this video, you might even be a picture editor who's working on social media content when you're like, oh my gosh, my client just gave me some really crappy audio. How do I take care of this stuff? Now, mind you, you have a whole array of different noise reduction tools, but today we're focusing on the Extract Dialogue 2. So let's take a listen. Literally, we're going to do this real time together, friends. So my listening reactions are going to be your listening reactions, okay? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use this as an audio suite, okay? Now, of course, you can use this on your dialogue chain, right, as an aux or bus. You can slap that in as an insert. But today we're just going to use it in real time here as an audio suite, much like we did with our previous test with our Hush Pro, our Clarity, DX Revive, and our iZotope dialogue isolate, rather. Okay, so let's take a look. So this, again, is the clip of audio. We've already listened to this. Now we're going to go ahead and literally sample this right away. Let's make sure our level's not too crazy. All right, this is literally at 0, okay? So we're gonna find this out together, how this responds.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent and they have a vacuum like this?
Okay, so obviously what you could see, oh, I like that. It holds it. It holds the last instance of dialogue that you heard. You can kind of capture this, and you can see what the input, what's going on here. So we have these 3 faders. We have voice, reverb, and noise. And obviously what it gives us, if you've worked with any other kind of plugin, is it gives us the ability to just click on these sliders, these faders, and adjust where we need. So this is literally how I use it, how I test some of these things. I'm just going to put it through the tester here. So I'm going to go into preview here, and I'm going to start adjusting some of my noise.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent and they have a vacuum like this? Some of it's real. Some of it you'll keep as your PFX. How do you work with real life production stuff?
Wow.
When you're filming your actors and your talent and they have a vacuum like this? Some of it's real. Some of it you'll keep as your PFX.
Okay. Wow. That is crazy. Listen to that. Do you hear that? I mean, that's minus 22 dB of noise. Okay. And there's not
How
much.
do you work with real
I'm going to
life
solo
production
this.
stuff?
So there's the noise. When you click solo, you can hear the noise that you're actually kind of taking out there. And the same thing applies with the reverb. So if I go over here, there's not going to be much. Okay, you can hear my voice a little bit, right? And I don't really want to, I can lose a little bit. Let's see.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your...
Okay, so one of the things that I did last time with all of these other noise reduction tools is I just literally broke it. Okay, I just literally broke it. And when I mean break it is, I'm gonna put this at 0, okay? And I'm literally just gonna take this all the way down. I'm gonna take the noise all the way down, okay? Because we did that with the other ones, right? And mind you, you're never, ever going to have an instance of audio where you're going all the way to 100 or minus, what is this at? Minus 48. You're gonna bring your fader all the way down, okay? So again, I don't recommend this, but this is a good kind of like litmus test to like see like, oh, let's see what all the way noise taken out sounds like. Here we go.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent and they have a vacuum like this? Some of it's real. Some of it you'll keep as your PFX.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it's kind of cool, right? Like, come on, like real talk. Like, that's not bad. That is not bad at all, friend. Now, what typically could happen is, and I let's see if I could do this with the RX. When you put the RX up against it, it's gonna sound. I think RX has more of the Dialogue Isolate at least has more of a tendency to get a little aliasly. You hear the aliasing happening and a little bit more kind of weirdness with the spoken dialogue. Let's take a listen. Watch. Let's just go like this.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent
Okay.
and they have a vacuum like this?
Okay, so that's Dialogue Isolate all the way down with the noise. Now, here in comparison is Acon Digital Extract Dialogue 2 with the noise all the way down.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent and they have a vacuum like this?
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, I don't know. You make the call, friend. If just at that, now mind you, this is, this is not going to be your typical setting. You're not going to go all the way down on the noise, right? There's going to be a little bit of finessing, right? You're gonna kind of adjust the settings, but all the way this.
How do you work with real life production stuff?
Or this.
How do you work with real life production stuff?
Now, just right there, you have one that sounds very kind of 8-bitty, right? Like it's a low bit stream, dialogue over old internet, and the Extract Dialogue 2 having a little bit more of the life to it, more high end, more clarity. It's not so, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent and they have a vacuum like this?
Okay, I'm a fan. I am a fan. Now, let's do, and mind you, we're not going to be going all the way down here. We're going to start backing the noise off a little bit. Because here's again the deal. Again, a little bit of noise, it's okay. It's okay, my friend. Especially if that's the way you recorded your production, right? And I told this story last time in the previous video, but we were working on a film in New York. It was a Jennifer Lopez film, and our director, Pete Siegel, he actually was totally okay with some of the noise. We had this scene on a subway, and we did the whole, hard 100% take it all out of it. And we also had ADR, of course, and that was one thing I failed to say in the last video. We had comments that said, I just ADR'd it. Absolutely. You better believe it. In a TV, in a film setting, we are definitely going to be cueing that. for ADR to get some clean audio, because we want that as an option. You always want to cover your butt on the dub stage. You never want to not have that. But we ended up going with some of that noise in there, just a little bit, very lightly hitting that. And I think we might have been using like a cedar DNS or something like that, but not too sure back then. It was a while ago. But nonetheless, that all that to say that filmmakers are okay with noise. Because the one thing you have to remember, friend, is when you start taking all that noise away, you start losing the life of the dialogue. Case in point, right here. Again, let's sample the dialogue RX.
How do you work with real life production stuff?
Where's the life?
When you're filming,
right? Where's the life? This what I like all the way down.
How do you work
At
with
least
real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your?
I mean, that's an awesome example. With this particular tool, it doesn't, even all the way down, it doesn't completely zap the life out of it. So a little bit of noise is okay. So now we want to find that kind of like sweet spot. So I'm going to reduce this.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent and they have a vacuum like this?
So right there, I start hearing some of the lower
keep
end.
As your PFX. How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent?
Okay, minus 10.8.
And they have a vacuum like this.
Okay, and let's go to the original. Let's see what the original is again, right? Let's go. Let's move this out of the way. Here we go.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming?
Okay, right away, I'm remembering that there was some music nearby. Someone was blasting some music. You hear the low frequencies, the mid lows and the low, extreme lows. You can kind of hear those kind of be introduced. Let's listen again.
How do you work with real life production stuff?
Okay, so now at a minus 10.8, literally out of the box. Here we go.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming?
Okay, that is not bad at all. Now I'm going to reduce a tiny bit more. Here we go.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming?
And let's bypass
your actors and your talent, and they have a vacuum like this.
Put that back in.
Some of it's real. Some of it you'll keep.
That's not bad. Okay, so our friends over at Acon Digital have done a fantastic job. Now, friend, mind you, this is just scratching the surface. Over here, I'm sure look, you have all these other kind of presets that you can check out. Obviously, you can create your own presets as well. This is so deep, right? And right here, so the voice sensitivity curve, the reverb sensitivity curve, the noise sensitivity curve. Let's do it like this.
How do you work with real life production stuff?
I think what we can do is we can go in there. Yep, we can go in there and...
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming your actors and your talent?
Yeah, and you can even adjust the EQ in that, just for the noise. Here we go. Wow. Bring it up. There's the high. Yeah, there it is.
Keep as your PFX. How do you work with real life production stuff?
Incredible.
When you're filming.
That's so cool. So obviously you can do a bunch of stuff here, right? You can adjust the EQ, right? In the voice, in the reverb, in the noise. Let's see what happens when I do that to the reverb. Let's take a look. Let's just solo the direction of the voice.
How do you work with real life production stuff when you're filming?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Actors and your
There's the high end.
And they have a vacuum like this.
Oh wow. See, if I do that.
Some of it's real. Some
that
of
sounds okay. So yeah.
How do you work?
Right there, that sounds more like the dialogue, the RX dialogue isolate, right? But I love that it doesn't do that automatically. You have control.
How do you work?
You can do that. You can control that. And again, we can solo the reverb, solo the noise. That's so crazy. So really, yeah, let me know in the comments below. How does this sound compared to some of the other ones that we've done in the past that we reviewed? It's not bad. It is not bad at all. Now, mind you, friend, just like any other plugin, especially when it comes to noise reduction, right? there is a tendency for others to really overuse it, right? And abuse it. You have to find a happy medium. You almost like this is why I love doing the breaking test where we go all the way down, down to here.
How do you work?
Because I want to hear what it sounds like. The same thing like over here when I'm doing this
How do you work?
all the way. And when I'm doing, actually, let me do this. Because somebody gave me a tip last time. He said that even the, for Hush Bro, they said, do not link this. Okay. Oops, cancel. I rendered. Here we go.
How do you work with real life production
So that's
stuff
Hush Pro, right?
when you're filming your actors and your
Right? Compare that to the Acon Digital.
How do you work with real life production stuff
right?
when you're filming?
Okay, and that is breaking it, friend. No, I'm just gonna say, no wonder my friends over at Acon Digital said, hey, you gotta check ours out. Like, what about us? What about us? Because just like that, I mean,
how do you work?
I'm not gonna tell you what to choose or what to say or what to do or what to buy or how to spend your money when it comes to plugins or Pro Tools, but I would highly consider checking out what they got going on over there at Acon Digital with the Extract Dialogue too. Because if it's a choice between this,
how do you work with real life production?
This,
how do you work with real life production stuff?
This, we forgot our clarity. We're in trial mode here.
How do you work with real life?
Or this.
How do you work with real life production stuff?
Wow, talk about intact high end still. Hearing some of those words, those syllables in the upper frequencies. So, friend, the choice is yours, right? The choice is yours. But again, this kind of just real flashbang. Let's just workshop this plugin right out of the box. I am extremely impressed with what they got going on with the Extract Dialogue 2. So,
how do you
let's
work
mess around with it
with
one more
real
time.
life production stuff?
Put that down.
When you're filming your actors and your talent, and they have a vacuum like this. Some of it's real. Some of it you'll keep as your PFX. How do you work
That's not
with
bad.
real life production?
Oh, that's not bad at all. Oh my gosh. So let me know, friends. Let me know in the comments below. What would you choose? Right? That's the only thing we don't have right now is the what we tested last time, which was the RX Revive, because I think my trial my trial ended. But wow, that is pretty impressive. So super, super huge shout out to my friends over at Acon Digital for giving us a copy of this to check out. Go consider checking them out. And again, friend, when it comes to noise reduction, it is super important that we do not overuse our plugins, okay? That is the key. Because if all we're doing is sucking the life out of our dialogue, friend, then we're not doing a good job. Now remember, there are guidelines when it comes to mixing. There are no hard rules because mixing is extremely subjective. But one thing that is a consistent over so many dialogue mixers, re-recording mixers that have mixed some of the most watched and talked about films and TV shows in Hollywood today, they will always tell you that their dialogue is king. And if you suck the life out of the dialogue, you're going to have a sterile, stagnant dialogue track. You don't want that. You want your dialogue track to have life. And so much of that conversation was recently had at our most recent masterclass. We recently had, and if you follow me on socials, you would have seen that, or if you're part of our email list, you would have got that notification that we recently had the Art of Film and TV Mixing online. This was the first time that I offered my exclusive in-person VIP masterclass in an online form. We had 88 years of mixing experience online. So friend, if you want to take your mixing to the next level, I highly, highly, highly recommend considering grabbing a digital replay of this over 3 hours, okay? 3 hours of knowledge when when it comes to mixing philosophy, and a wonderful conversation that I had with re-recording mixer Aaron Levy with his 30 years that he brings to the industry, and 4-time Oscar-nominated re-recording mixer Jeffrey J. Habouche, along with myself. Everything you need to learn how you can grab a copy of this masterclass online will be linked below in the description. So I would love to see you inside that masterclass and get a jump start to 2026, making it the best year when it comes to getting your mixes to sound cinematic. All right, friend, that is all the time we have for this week's episode. Again, a huge shout out to my friends over at Acon Digital for allowing us to test the Extract Dialogue 2 right out of the box. Super impressed. So anybody that's not only working in post-production sound at the highest level for film and TV, they should definitely consider adding this to their arsenal. But those of you who are content creators, picture editors who are working with content creators, podcasts, whether they're for Spotify or long-form video podcasts as well, especially for those who are filming on YouTube, go check this product out now. And do me a favor, let them know I said hello. Let them know I sent you, okay? All right, friends, I will catch you over here on the side in one of these other episodes or next week.